Developing economies have a structural leak. Wealth constantly flows outward just to keep the lights on and the heavy machinery running. Every barrel of imported crude oil requires payment in US dollars. This continuous, unyielding dollar demand acts as an anchor, weighing down the national balance sheet and widening the current account deficit. Yet, an economy like India's absorbs this massive outflow for oil, gold, and semiconductors. The entire external account survives because of a single, highly effective counterweight: human cognitive labor. This diagram visualizes that equilibrium. On the left side, we see the massive merchandise deficit, the physical imports of oil, gold, and electronics pulling the scale down. On the right, a $213.9 billion services surplus drops in, single-handedly balancing out the physical deficit. The macroeconomic stability of the entire nation rests squarely on the shoulders of developers, analysts, and engineers, selling their time to foreign clients at a margin. That delicate equilibrium is breaking. The global transition to the AI economy is introducing a new, invisible variable into the trade ledger: the compute token. A token is easy to dismiss as just an abstract software input, but at a macroeconomic scale, tokens behave exactly like imported intermediate goods. Look at the trade ledger again. When a massive volume of tokens is imported to perform cognitive labor, a new, rapidly growing token bill violently tips the scale back into deficit. Domestic tech companies are systematically routing standard workflows, coding, compliance checks, data summarization, away from Indian labor and through foreign AI models. Every AI agent reasoning through a problem requires a recurring dollar payment to an external provider. AI tokens are becoming the new petrodollar, a dollar-denominated dependency that will dismantle the historical IT services cushion entirely. To see exactly why this external dependency is so dangerous, we have to look under the hood of a standard IT contract and track the unit economics. This flowchart maps the traditional labor arbitrage model. Client revenue, paid in US dollars, flows directly into the central domestic company. The operational costs to deliver that work, specifically human labor and infrastructure, are paid out in rupees. Because the inputs are priced in a local currency and the outputs are sold in dollars, a surplus is generated. That surplus is captured right here as the integration margin, earning in dollars while spending in rupees. This specific financial dynamic is the engine that built the nation's tech sector. Now, inject modern AI into this workflow. To remain competitive, Indian IT firms are aggressively deploying generative AI agents to draft, search, and code faster. Let's update the model to reflect this shift. The human labor node is deleted from the cost base and replaced by AI agent inference. Since the intelligence is rented from foreign model providers, the capital flows out of the domestic ecosystem, paid to external APIs in US dollars. As the dollar outflow for imported tokens increases, the integration margin compresses. The historical arbitrage disappears. The domestic tech firm is downgraded from an independent economic engine into a reseller of someone else's intelligence. A compressed margin is a microeconomic problem for the firm. But because these tokens are priced in dollars, this creates a compounding macroeconomic danger: continuous foreign exchange exposure. This loop diagram illustrates the structural trap. Enterprise AI adoption drives up foreign inference demand, which directly translates into steady dollar outflow. When millions of API calls are executed daily across an entire national industry, the scale of that dollar outflow drains reserves, pressuring the local currency to weaken. A weaker rupee makes every dollar-priced token more expensive locally. That higher cost drives further margin compression, completing the cycle. The more the industry modernizes, the more capital it bleeds. Paying for cognitive labor in dollars inflicts the exact same damage on the trade ledger as importing barrels of crude oil. Local tech companies become victims of their own rapid adoption. Governments recognize this vulnerability. Policy has shifted towards securing sovereign AI independence, primarily through massive hardware subsidies. In India, national missions have procured tens of thousands of GPUs to serve as public compute facilities for startups and researchers. But stockpiling hardware solves the wrong equation. This diagram compares two architectures. On the left, raw, subsidized bare metal GPUs sit isolated. They fail to connect effectively to real-world enterprise applications. On the right, the hardware is layered beneath highly optimized inference engines and open-weight models, creating a successful, usable link. Raw compute power is distinct from inference capacity. Without a high-performance routing and caching software layer, a server rack is invisible to a developer and entirely useless for high-volume enterprise workflows. Procuring chips without mastering the hardware-software co-design of inference fails to provide an economic firewall. To actually protect the entire national trade balance, a domestic inference platform must cross a strict technical threshold. It requires state-of-the-art open-weight models, fine-tuned for specific enterprise tasks, and served locally with extreme token efficiency using optimized frameworks like VLLM. The engineering must be tight enough to support the ultimate commercial requirement. The APIs must be priced, billed, and settled entirely in rupees. When that threshold is met, the macroeconomic model repairs itself. Let's look at the unit economics one last time. The enterprise workflow routes away from foreign APIs and plugs into a domestic cloud. Because the intelligence is rented locally in rupees, the integration margin instantly expands back to a healthy state. This creates a powerful structural defense. Localized inference transforms those imported GPUs from a sunk hardware cost into productive domestic infrastructure, acting as a permanent hedge against foreign exchange exposure. The next crippling import bill will not arrive on a tanker docking at a coastal refinery. It will arrive silently every single day through millions of API calls executed by companies renting intelligence in dollars. The only way to protect the external account is to build a high-performance sovereign inference layer and escape the token dollar trap.